Trigger warning, this video will discuss suicide. Hey friends, today is National Suicide Prevention Day, and I wanted to read you something that really struck me from a September book, which is actually about suicide or an experience of suicide by Sloane Crosley. It's called Grief is for People, and she talks about losing her best friend to suicide, and this book goes into her experience of trying to find answers and understanding of what happened. And this passage really stood out to me because it is a very unique take and something that I have not really seen anybody address before when the subject of suicide comes up, which is already a very taboo subject. Nobody really likes to talk about this, but I think it's important because books have messages for us that help us reflect, help us relate, and I think that anybody who reads this book will gain this very valuable perspective, even if at times they might find it a little bit controversial or edgy. So I'm gonna read this to you and just take a deep breath and let that sink in before you jump to any conclusions, and then sit with it and see if you can actually relate to the message. So just for transparency, I'm not reading everything. I have some parts highlighted, and those are my key points, otherwise we'll be here forever. So this is what Sloane has to say on the stigma around suicide. She says, "I find it hard to believe that any suicidal person knows the exact dimensions of what they're hiding. So why would the rest of us have a superior sense? And who among us is categorically happy? Who lacks a reason to kill themselves? Reasons are not the problem. I know. Keep listening. Part of the destigmatization of suicide is not framing the desire or even the flirtation as exceptional. Suicide is a tax on human consciousness. Most people pay this tax in undetectable denominations, like wondering what would happen if they stand too close to the cliff's edge, or thinking don't jump as the train comes charging down the tracks. They fear the mere option will override their free will. But some pay the tax dearly, some pay it with their lives. The question everyone should therefore ask is not why otherwise healthy people kill themselves, but why they themselves should go on living." That sentence will surely read as morbid to those who have never identified as depressed, and disconcerting to those who know me personally, but it's no threat to anyone's psychological soundness to think this way. We all have something we are trying to fend off. The question is how big and with what? And then she concludes with this: "The miracle of life is not that we have it. It's that most of us wake up every day and agree to fight for it, to hold it in our arms even when it squirms to get away." I also want to acknowledge that what I just read, these words by Sloane Crosley, can be triggering and painful to some people, but I also think that it can resonate with a lot of us. I know that they resonate with me very deeply, and as somebody who's been in therapy most of this year and is privileged to have medical access to get that kind of support, they definitely sit with me and cause some discomfort for me, because it makes me realize how little I am able to share about my inner struggles with the outside world. And yet I'm luckier than most people because I actually have the support that I need in those moments. So just as a reminder, I'm gonna share in the caption below some resources for people who are dealing with struggles in their lives, and encourage all of us to just be more empathetic and less judgmental, and then just reach out and ask your friends, ask them how can you be there for them better and what they're really feeling, because I think sometimes it's knowing that you have this support, that you have this circle of trust to lean into. It can make a huge difference. So food for thought. Let me know how you feel about what I just shared.